How are you, Michael?
I'm fine. I mean, it's as well as we all are in a way. I mean, it's so ghastly, this state that we're all in.
But it's bizarre, because one of the things that, you know, we've been able to prove is that we can open theatres completely safely. You know, all of the protocols and everything, you know, and it's so sad going into Her Majesty's, you know, and seeing it completely without a set, without everything, you know, it's kind of heartbreaking. But
yes.
But anyway, it's so good to see you. How's everything in New Zealand?
Well, it's, touch wood, it's pretty good. I mean, the leading lady here, Jacinda Ardern, she did a magnificent job, really, and so did the New Zealand people, because they just did what they were told. And now we go maybe 11 days with nothing at all, and then maybe there's 1 or 2. I mean, it's still around, but
yeah. But Michael, I'm just thinking, you know, I must tell you something funny. Sarah has recorded a tiny little cameo on our my Cinderella album, a tiny little thing as not Cinderella. She sings a little bit and she gets bitten by a bird, and that's the end of that. But she sends her love to you.
Well, do love to her.
I will, you know, and it's so extraordinary, you know, because it was via Sarah, wasn't it? Actually, it was via Ian Adam that, of course, that I heard about your magnificent singing voice, which I didn't know at that time. And I remember going around and hearing you sing some opera.
We were downstairs waiting with Sarah for her class, and you were in the kitchen.
That's
you
right.
heard me.
Yes.
You heard through the floor.
And I heard
this,
yeah. And I heard this magnificent operatic voice. And I said, God, is that Michael Crawford? Sarah said, yes. And I said, he's got to be our Phantom, whatever happens. And do you remember, you were in Barnum?
Yes.
At the Victoria Palace. And you decided that we had to meet somewhere where nobody could see us. And we went to some ghastly steakhouse where you were quite right that nobody would see us because there was nobody there. Except it was right, except in that part of the world, it was all in the middle of where MI5 have all their secret flats. So I think we were probably being monitored by secret agents.
I do remember, yes, the look on your face when we went inside the door. You didn't think this was suitable at all.
No. And then you came round to my flat and I played you the overture. And I was really worried because I thought, God, Michael Crawford, is he going to say yes to this? I don't know. And then I remember halfway through the overture, you just turned around to me and I said, the chandelier rises up. And you said, I'll do this. I remember it was a sort of very sunny afternoon. And that's when I think I first played you the music.
I remember the hair stood up on the back of my neck when I heard it. And the concentration, listening to it, I found myself in a position that I actually used in the character. And my shoulders lifted and my head went down, and I could feel the power of being. And it was a very memorable moment.
It was. And it was fantastic, really, because and it was Hal Prince at the top of his game, really, wasn't it?
Indeed, it was. Yes, I know. I don't think he had the slightest idea who I was. And I said, well, so I said, would you like me to sing for you? And so I auditioned for
Hal.
I had your belief, but I hadn't yet got Hal's. So I sang for him, and I can't tell whether he was impressed or not. I felt nervous. And you said, well, you were greatly wonderful. And of course, I mean, he'll be much better than this one. And I've been working for a month or so, but hours a day. And I thought, oh my God, I can't get better than this.
But it was incredible. It was incredible because the I mean, I remember that the only thing that we worked on, we actually changed in rehearsals, was Masquerade.
Oh yes, that's right.
It's the only thing.
Oh, we had to control the boat. The boat was the most difficult.
Yes.
But like a child working a mechanical boat around a lake, and if he made one mistake, we went straight off the other side.
Yes. Yes.
Reversing as if we could, and you had to adapt the pole wherever it took me. I had to make it look as though I was in control.
Yes, well, it was, and the other funny one I remember was when the computer went wrong in New York with the candles, and they sort of went up and down and all through the final scene.
Yes, because again, you had to be careful. If you were standing there, the candle would go up your leg. It would go up your trousers, and they're red hot.
Yeah. Did the chair ever get stuck at the end?
Yes, on a couple of occasions, but with a little sort of jiggery pokery with your back end, you were able to. I was able to move it and be able to get out of the chair. There's one point where Christine and the Phantom go off stage and go back to the back of the stage, and then the portcullis come in, and we're climbing literally a ladder straight up. So Sarah, I said to Sarah, you go first and I'll catch you if anything goes wrong. I'm underneath you. And this was on one of the very early previews. She started to go up the ladder and I followed her. And for some reason she stopped and I went straight up the inside of her dress. So we reached we got to the first landing and her dress was all over my head and she was squealing. And we were in completely the wrong mood to go out across the portcullis singing Phantom of the Opera, the theme song. It's weird how things like that, you're completely out of character, and yet you maintain your choreography you keep, but you're like a naughty child in school. You're giggling about it. Ridiculous.
But how long did it take you to do the makeup?
When we started, Chris Tucker, I worked with him, yourself, Hal, everybody kept looking at it. That took about 6 weeks, and it would take over 2.5 hours when we first started, and then they began to pre-paint the prosthetic that went around, so they were just put it on in the end. I think in the end we got it down to about 50 minutes every night. But on a matinee day, it was quite, in early days, quite a long day.
Yeah, long day. Yeah, yes. So, Michael, are you singing a bit at the moment? Are you performing in anything, or you?
No, I rehearse every day. I practice every day. I was well taught by the wonderful Ian Adam.
I don't think people realise that how personal and how important a singing teacher is to artists.
No, I completely underestimated drama teachers, anything. I think I auditioned for Slam, and I didn't get auditioned, so I didn't bother for that to try. I just went into rep and studied. Went to rep and Nottingham with Ian McKellen at the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah, the director, and Frank Finn in Coventry. It's grounding for actors. It was a basis experience. But I never thought. I thought this is the way. So I never had a singing lesson in my life. And then I met Ian because I was going to do Billy Drury Lane.
Yes.
And John Barry insisted that I had lessons to be able to sing 8 shows, which we all did. And then you need standard technique more than anything. You need technique. I get music. You practice, and still at this age, I still practice every day.
Billy.
Just in case I get a call, Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Well, yes, I mean, you know, we'll talk later. I always remember Billy. I can actually remember 2 songs from it now, and
Really?
Yeah, I can remember some of us belong to the stars, and that very pretty title song. Da 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 dum ba ba bum ba da 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 dum da 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 dum bum. That was, I mean, it was a good show, and it had Elaine Page in it.
Elaine's first show, yes. Yeah. It was a wonderful experience to work there through that 2 years. But you were very good with me and Klaus Raugenon.
Oh yes, yeah, that was a terrific show.
Ran for 6 weeks. Charles Strauss, Annie.
Yeah. Charles Strauss, and I mean, well, you did that fantastic thing with the mouse, didn't you? I mean, it was amazing.
Only topped by doing the same sort of routine with a rat in
Woman in White. Yes. But I thought Klaus Raugenon was a really, really interesting musical. I don't know, somebody should dig it up again. We got him in common because I never realised that Sarah had that operatic voice until I saw Nightingale, because she was in Cats, but she didn't really have a huge singing role in Cats at all. And I suddenly read this review, and Charlie Strauss wrote Nightingale, and of course she was the Nightingale. So I went to see that, and I thought, goodness, so Charlie Strauss, we have Sarah and you in common then, through Charlie. Well, Michael, it's lovely to see you and great to talk to you.
It is you too, Andrew. I hope we'll come to better circumstances.
Well, we will. We'll come through all of this, you know, and our theatre will be bigger and better. And when Phantom comes back, it will be bigger, better, and as well, it'll be Hal's wonderful production, hopefully. It'll be fabulous. And we was sort of raise a glass to dear Gilly Lynn, you know, from us both, who sadly died last year, but it was great to be able to name the theatre after her now. It's good. Yeah. The New London is now the Gilly Lynn.
She lived right across, as my finger points, about half a mile across the here, and that was her house with Peter.
I hope she wasn't making you do class every morning.
She'd see it. I went out on the balcony and did. She had the most outrageous language.
Yes. Well, in case there are younger viewers, we won't discuss Gilly Lynn at this moment. But she was very naughty, yes. And we all adored her. But
yeah.
Well, lots of love, Michael. And we'll see you. Hope to see you very soon.